All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and hopping in here and getting on the stage, Jira, to learn about a really cool up and coming project. I just wanted to say to everyone out there, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to wherever you might be in this global world that we live in, also known as Web3. We actually have a very, 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 very special guest here today. Yozora is here from Project Suisei, and he will be educating us about the project. So, how you doing today? You doing all right?
Yep, I'm feeling great today.
Awesome, amazing. Well, what I'd like for you to do is just kind of, most AMAs are like asking questions, but what I'd like to do is just kind of have you take the time out here on the stage and really just like give us a really in-depth explanation of like your project because we can read a white paper, we can go in Discord, and we can read all this stuff all the time. But when I hear it from like a founder or from a team member's mouth, it really kind of brings it to life. So if you don't mind, just go ahead and just do a long spiel. Take as much time as you want, and then I'll ask some questions from the people that are in the voice chat channel, which that's the best place to ask questions if you have any questions at all. So please feel free to like ask anything in there, tag me, and yeah, I'll ask as we go, or yeah, we'll just give you the chance to tell us about the project. So without further ado, go ahead, sir.
Thanks. Okay, I would like to start off to say that, Project Suisei is actually uh, the best way to describe it would be it's a anime metaverse. So not to confuse it with another project that have the same name as well. But what we're essentially doing is creating a metaverse that has a feeling that, gives you a sense that you're into, you just got rift into a new a place where everything inside actually has a lot to do with those mangas or those animes that you watched, since you're a child. It really brings back those memories, and we think that, in the future, metaverse will definitely be important to us. Obviously with how things are developing. So, but there won't just be one metaverse, so to say. There's going to be more, and one of those niche that we think it quite resonate with the team very much is the culture of anime and mangas, and all those things that you watch ever since you're a kid, being rifted to another world and doing a lot of different things that you could never possibly imagine in the real world. So that's essentially what we want Project Suicide to turn out as. I'm not sure exactly this is the best way to word it, but just imagine you being one of the protagonists in one of those mangas, and going in, getting to fight monsters, getting to make some new friends, accepting some quests, doing some party quests with people, but so that's essentially what it is. But if you're gonna ask us how are we exactly special and different from other projects, I would definitely say the quality of what we deliver. So obviously we have been looking through a lot of projects in this space, and looking through the metaverse projects, the gaming projects. Uh, so I'm not gonna say that it's definitely a preference thing. Some projects look good, some look fun, but if we're talking about one of the qualities that we're doing is definitely triple A quality. So if any of you have actually looked at our Twitter page before, you will see many gameplay sneak peeks coming out, and very soon the demo will be out. So we're gonna give you a demo of what's the quality gonna be like, how it's gonna appear when the actual thing comes out, and the quality of the models, the graphics. Just get a feel of how it's gonna be when the actual metaverse comes out, and hopefully, you'll feel the same way as me and the team, where we strive for the best quality, and we're not just settling down for the how do I say, for the practicality, because a lot of metaverse are settling down for the practicality, while we are settling for the quality, which we feel that it's quite important. Would you like to dive? I would ask a question. Would you like to dive into a metaverse that is not pretty and not good looking, and in a sense, maybe probably not as magical as you would have thought a real metaverse would be like. I mean, I would feel a bit disappointed if that was the future of metaverse. So that's why we want something very different from how we do things. So it took a lot of study. It took a lot of homework that we have to do and research to check out what's possible, and we push the limits so that we make sure that what we create, the metaverse that comes out, is not only feasible, but in terms of quality, one of the best out there. So yeah, so that's probably one of the main difference between the rest. We're creating a metaverse and a game. I would say it's really together the same thing, but something that's competable on the outside market. I would say it's not just competable in the NFT space, but it's competable in the other gaming markets that we're looking at, the other gaming companies out there that are doing triple A games that you play, like Monster Hunter or even Genshin Impact. Well, I'm not gonna say that um, it's like the best, but in our sense, we do feel that it's very much competable in the market, and that's where we shine, I think, in terms of the quality that we're delivering. And we're definitely not just saying that just because we're biased. I mean, obviously, which founders wouldn't love their project, but I'm saying it because we do definitely feel that as a gamer ourselves, we're quite hardcore with what games we pick to play. And if it's not that quality, then obviously we're not going to play it. So that's just how hardcore it is for us when we do this. And hopefully it shows from our gameplays and the demo that's coming out soon. It's going to be next week. So everything is before mint. Hopefully people, get a feel of it before they actually decide to mint. Don't mint before you actually try out the demo. We don't want anybody feeling, disappointed or anything, but we're definitely quite confident in what we do. Yeah. So I hope that's a good way to start off.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to start off. Yeah, definitely a good way to start off. I'd like to just first by asking, someone in the crowd was curious. Is it more of a social game or is it more of like an RPG adventure game like Genshin? Or is it like a
Yeah, that
combination? Or do you have like the combination? Do you have like also like this VR chat type of thing that's like intertwined inside of going on RPGs and going on adventures and killing monsters like you were saying, like Monster Hunter or Genshin Impact? I didn't really play Genshin Impact much, but I played Monster Hunter a lot and I had a lot of fun on that game.
Yeah, so that's a very good question, and it's weird that I have never actually been asked this question before. So that's definitely a good question. So the game itself will definitely have social platform aspects of it. Since it's a metaverse, it will not be just a game. Obviously, there'll be fighting, there'll be some main story where you can actually follow along and have fun discovering new stuff. We will have a lot of events. We will have a main storyline where you can actually follow along. Obviously, there's going to be subquests and stuff where you can actually, derail from the main storyline and have fun. But other than that, to actually be a metaverse that we have in mind, it would definitely mean that people can just simply have fun by being with their friends. So we'll have many activities where you can just simply enjoy, detach from that leveling, fighting, and stuff like that, and it'll still be enjoyable. So we're thinking of definitely the VR chat, and just as a cherry on the topping, I would say that we're definitely gearing towards um, a VR version of it as well. But I'm actually very confident in making the VR version of it. As many of my group already know, I'm actually proficient in programming for the MetaQuest. But obviously, it doesn't make sense to do something like that now if the adoption rate is going to be very low anyways, since not much have the device itself, and very low how do I say, adoption rate. So obviously we're going to go for the PC version and the mobile version of it first.
Yeah, it's great. It sounds like the normal, chain of command of which like you go through to get to that VR, because you don't want to just start on just like, oh, here we go, here's VR, because that's like a big undertaking. You want to get out the game and make sure that it's properly fun and balanced is the biggest thing about video games is especially with like RPG games, is making sure each character is properly balanced and there's not like everyone playing the same exact build or character or talent tree or whatever like that. So it's definitely very important. I had another good question that was in the chat as well, and they were asking about a possible in-game marketplace with like a Suisei token, and like maybe use that token to be able to buy in-game stuff like swords and equipment and gear and like different talents and perks and things for your character.
Yeah, that on that point, we're definitely on it. I mean, like the token itself, for the in-game currency is definitely something that we will have. But just to make sure that everybody's on the same page, how we're gonna do it is definitely not focusing on, making the token worth a lot. We're definitely avoid, pay to win or that type of situation. We're obviously gearing towards an enjoyable gameplay for all. So that's something very different that we're aiming for. A lot of people play NFT games for the ROI, as I keep mentioning a lot. But it's going to be very different from how people think about it, especially from the NFT space. I would rather, if you've played Final Fantasy 14, you will see that they have great community, and the people are playing the game because they get to make friends inside, and they get to enjoy activities together, and it's a great community where everybody's friendly and having fun, doing something that it's enjoyable and not definitely farming for the tokens or the ROI of everything. And in regards with the marketplace, definitely we'll do that. We'll be airdropping a lot of like limited items or limited rides. Our team is already on a dragon that they want the people to be able to ride. Of course, it'll be rare, and of course it's resaleable. So as more people get into the game, these stuff will also automatically be valuable for those people who actually genuinely are interested in the game. So those are what we call the real players, while the ones that actually buy our NFT are actually what we call the pioneers. They're actually more like the investors, and there's no need for them to actually play the game. They're more like the initial supporters of the game. But in the future, as real gamers join in, that's where it becomes more interesting and it benefits everyone because the ecosystem is growing precisely because everybody is simply enjoying the community inside, the social aspect of it, and definitely they'll enjoy the gameplay.
Well, that's definitely like one of the most important parts, is to make sure you have that psychological ability where people want to keep coming back to the game, and
I'm sorry, are you still there?
yeah, yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I had to mute my mic. There was some background noise on it. I didn't want it to be picked up while you were talking. But yeah, so I had to move to a different room, unfortunately. But I was just saying that, yeah, one of the biggest things is with gaming is that psychological, ability to like get people to keep coming back to the game and wanting to play the game, and you want it to be able to play the game to have fun, instead of having that like idea of, hey, I need to play this game because I want to make money or make this token and try to do that whole thing. And that's when you kind of get to this weird balance, and if you can't find the proper balance to keep people happy and having fun, and not just the fun being related to making money. So it's definitely one of those things that is definitely very difficult.
Yeah, I have to say that, this is what we plan, and that's hence the quality. That's why we are very pushing the quality because, if it's not computable on the world market, then it's impossible to actually, have a chance at actually, becoming a real big game that, have like millions and millions of people playing it. I mean, like Genshin Impact has like, 16 to 20 million downloads, and that equivalents to a lot, no matter in terms of revenue or in terms of, people coming back to play and the community itself, it's amazing, and we love that too. So we're definitely working towards that, and we're not going to go easy on ourselves and take the easy way out. We're going to attract these people into playing what we create, and that's where we actually want to make this project different from the other projects as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone in the crowd was curious of what the cross between the game and Web3 is. I'm not 100% sure exactly what they're specifically asking, but maybe like why is this, why is this more like good for Web3 instead of it just being like, a regular video game that you release on a PlayStation? Like how is it crossed over to Web3 and utilize that?
Yeah, that's actually another very good question. So there are ways to actually to talk about this in different aspects, but what we do feel that it's important is um, to be an actual metaverse, there's this is like a very big question, and depending on how people think about it, it could be very, um, it could depend on how they think about it. But from our perspective, to actually reach a real metaverse, that's where you actually need decentralizing, and this is where Web3 is, the forefront of decentralizing, obviously. And that's where we actually created the NFT. And to tell the truth, um, having like a lot of people on our management system that we allow through our tokens, I'm sorry, through our NFT, means that the future development will actually depend a lot on what the people feel that is important to our project. And this is where it actually decentralizing actually shines. It's not going to be just a simple game, like where the game company itself controls everything. If you get the idea, it's actually, just the game pumping out the content, and the players are just going to play and follow along. That's going to be a normal game. But as I've told you before, we're going to make it a metaverse. So with a completely different mindset, that's why it's important to have the Web3 people join in as well, because they know what's best for the Web3 space and how decentralizing works. And hopefully, we can actually get those gamers that are coming in later on to actually jump on the Web3 wagon as well. So in a sense, I think that they won't even know it. I mean, like suddenly they see this game on advertisement, it looks good, it looks high quality, and then suddenly they're in the game playing it and they're addicted, and then they find out later that it's an NFT game, and what it actually means to be in a decentralized community. Um, so I'm not sure if you get the picture of what I'm talking about, but I'm very excited about how it will turn out. Yeah, I will definitely tell you that as of right now, it's definitely a bit hard to put everything on chain. So a lot of projects are going towards that. And we don't deny it that, it'll be great if we can keep our quality and put it on chain. Obviously, at this moment, it's not possible. At least not that I know of. So anybody who can do that, I mean, they're probably a genius at some level that we should, like follow. But from my knowledge, it's actually impossible to put this quality of a game on chain and make it all like good, fun to play. So definitely most of our things, actually, I would try to say it's gonna be half-half. So a lot of authentications for the items, for the levels, for many stuff that will be on chain, obviously. because that's how we want things to go. But all the assets, the huge load of graphics and stuff, assets that will need to be downloaded will actually be off-chain. So it's going to be a hybrid between an online game system or mechanic, and it's going to be a hybrid with the Web3 blockchain, where a lot of authentication will be done through Web3. I think that's the best way to utilize it right now. I wouldn't say it's like, there are many pros and cons, and I could go very deep into it, but I would say that at this moment, what we probably need is actually more people having fun and actually believing that, the Web3 space can actually create something compatible with the normal market. And that's where we are gearing towards. So it would be, I would say, half on chain, half off chain. And as things progress, we will definitely work towards on chain. So that's how we're going to do it. There's no other way to actually get this quality and actually, be 100% on chain, if you
Yeah,
know what I mean.
absolutely. Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. It's one of those things where I feel like it's sometimes you don't always have an answer for it right off the bat because what I always tell people is one of the best skills for project teams and founders and mods and all that stuff is in the Web3 space is being able to adapt and just trying to like work around things and also just elevating what you put out day one is not the same thing that your product's going to be later on down the road day 30 or even day 120. You know what I mean? So like I think that's like something that's good to be able to adapt and all that good stuff. Um, let's see. I don't see too many other questions, but I'd like you to just like have an opportunity because I've asked some questions and I've tried to get the ones from the crowd here, but I'd like you to just know that you just have plenty of time to kind of like go over anything else cool. Like like I said, just really highlight the things that make your project different. And I know that you're different. Yours is different than most most NFT gaming like anime centric ones because like we have this stigma that people are trying to oh here's another anime one but like no this is actually more than just an anime game and I feel like some people may right off like at first glance are going to be like oh it's an anime project I don't really care so I definitely want to make sure that you have the ability to convince people and tell people that it's very different. One question I think with any gaming project is you wonder if you have to own the NFTs to be able to play the game.
Yeah, so this is quite a common question as well, since it wouldn't make sense, if we only have like 10,000 players and expect this community to grow. And if the community doesn't grow, then eventually I would say, the project would be dead. So so that's exactly why we planned it out differently. So we have divided our ecosystem, I would say, into three groups. And I've never actually really went into a lot of details of it, but I've actually talked quite a few about it as well. But so the three groups that are divided into our space, it doesn't mean that we're gonna have like many collections, that's not the idea. But the three groups that we've divided is we divided the people in our community. So first, it's this collection that we're giving out is the pioneers. So pioneers are like the investors and the true believers and been with us since the beginning. So we think of this as a very first group of people. And as because they know our project since the beginning, they're great, people to talk with, to brainstorm idea with, to test our stuff with. And I hope they feel the same way about our project of how special we feel they are for our project as well. So the group that'll be potentially holding the pioneers are actually more like investors to us, where we consult with them and they think what's best for the project. And then later on, these pioneers will be able to actually mint Rift keys. We call it Rift keys, but it's essentially they can mint NFTs, and it comes with some condition as well. So it's not going to be unlimited mints, but as times goes by, they will be able to mint these Rift keys and think of it as we preparing a concert, and the pioneers are actually the one giving out the tickets to the people that they feel they want to attend the concert together. They could essentially sell it. I, I'm not against the idea of selling the Rift keys to the gamers, but it would be nice if they choose who they actually want to play or actually want to build this community with. We even toyed with the idea that eventually like pioneers could be like they could be like a leader of their own group, getting people to join in, building their own community. So that's the idea of how gamers will be joining later on. They'll be getting rift keys from the pioneers, and their rift keys, they can definitely generate their character. However, the characters will not have the same utility as the pioneers. So pioneers will be the only one giving out the rift keys, allowing the gamers to play the game itself. But the new players coming in won't be able to generate rift keys. So it would be a community that grow um, by the will of the token holders, I mean the NFT holders, the pioneers. So that's how we're gonna slowly build our community. Obviously, as times goes by, there'll be many people joining in, and those rift keys would actually be increased slowly, so that we can slowly build our community upwards. So it's going to be a very nice place where people can actually enjoy the game, but it's going to be close knit. It's going to be so something similar to like a private Discord, and then slowly invite people in. And as things grow, those rift keys will be more common, and more people can get into play. But of course, in the end, it will be given out by the pioneers who actually brought our tokens, our NFT. I'm sorry, I keep messing this up, but NFTs are essentially also tokens, so I keep messing that up. So that's the idea of how we want the game to actually proceed. We're not in a rush, to actually like to get everybody on board. That would be impossible to build a good community. But definitely I can actually picture, with a game of this quality, I wouldn't be surprised if there would be a lot of gamers actually showing interest in wanting to try the game, and eventually they'll have to get the Rift keys off one of the pioneers willing to give it to them. So that's going to be the idea, and definitely with the social aspect of it, VR chat and everything else, I would say that people would definitely want to try it out. So that would be a start for the pioneers that we are going to be minting soon. It should be by the end of this month, or at most the beginning of August. So, and for the sake of it, it won't be expensive or anything. We have planned. I'm not embarrassed to say that initially we planned to sell a lot more expensive, like zero point 0.5 up per pioneer, because that's how much we think it's actually worth. Like we're creating this metaverse just so that the pioneers would have a chance to actually give out the invitation by themselves and benefit off of it. So that's why we thought it's definitely worth it to go zero point 0.5 up per pioneer. But the market condition has actually given a good opportunity to everyone who plans to invest. That's why we're going to drop it somewhere between zero point 0.1 to 0.25 at this moment. We're still talking about it, and we definitely want things to mint out. We already have the capability of finishing the game. As you can see from the demo, you will probably enjoy, hopefully, hopefully you enjoy the demo coming out next week, and give it a try. We have the capability of finishing the game, so it's really not that point, but we want things to go in the long run, like how we usually think. So definitely minting out is one of our target as well. So to make that happen, we'll definitely lower the bar so that everybody can invest. We do want a variety of people on the pioneers, so that we can have a variety of community, and we will brainstorm our ideas, the future with them as well. So that's going to be fun to work with, in my opinion. And definitely, I see a future of a metaverse where it's decentralized, I wouldn't agree with a centralized metaverse. So yeah, I'm going around just talking about it, but you know, this project in itself, the very special thing about it is actually we're quite ready in what we do, and our team is very good at what we do. So you can probably see from the work if you quickly change to our Twitter page, the gameplays and stuff as well. So that's where we're confident in. I'm probably not the best speaker here to talk about the details of every aspect of the game, but you know, we really love the anime culture, and we do feel that, you know, as people continue to move towards Web3, we feel that this generation is actually a very fun generation. You know, if we're talking about you know, the generation like my dad or something like that, then you know, an anime metaverse may not be the best choice. But you know, from our generation, I think that, you know, the future where the metaverse would be different, will be a fantasy like, would be fun, would be very different. You know, I wouldn't call it degen, but I would call it a very creative and a very diversified metaverse. Would be very fun to see how it goes from there. And that's what we want to do. That's the whole concept of what we're doing. And we are definitely here for the long term. That's why although it hurts us, you know, to actually discount our initial value by almost 80% to 90% of what we initially set the price at, we're still happy, you know, to get everybody on board and just want to get this out. But hopefully everybody feels, you know, lucky and opportune for this chance to actually get on board at a very good price. It would be impossible to actually do this if the market didn't give the opportunity um, to do so. So yeah, I would say this. I probably covered a lot of things. If I said anything that, you know, get on anybody's, you know, bad side, I'm very sorry. Uh, English is not my first language, so I'm trying my best here.
No, you're doing great. Don't worry about about that stuff at all. You're doing a great job. I think that you're answering to the capability of what everyone needs, honestly, because you're most of the questions that here people are able to ask or get answers to. So someone was curious just about, you know, what kind of requirements, the minimum requirements to play the game. You know, is there going to be like anything where you're going to need like some newer graphic card or anything like that?
Well, we had tested with our computers on in the company, so something between 3040 up. So that's the graphics card. So 3040 up GTX. I think would do fine, but you know, anything lower is also fine. Though I would say that, you know, that the quality that you get may be slightly lower than the other people, but playing the game is not an issue. I would say, but if you're, you know, you're a very hardcore gamer, then definitely the higher the graphic cards, the better, obviously. Yeah, but you know, playing the game won't be an issue because we want people to play it, and that's why uh, we're gonna do it on the mobile version. We're gonna do it on the computer. Obviously, the mobile version would require a lot of, you know, a very good mobile, obviously, yeah, a very good smartphone, I mean.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but if you're talking about PC version, then I would say that, you know, almost any PC version on the market will probably be able to play it.
It's definitely something that you gotta make sure because you don't want to gatekeep people by like, you know, having to buy a new graphics card. And graphics cards, ever since the pandemic
Exactly.
happened, became really expensive and very difficult to get. I mean, not only are they expensive, they're just hard to get as well. So you definitely don't want to gatekeep behind anything like that. You want to make sure as many people that want to play the game can or have the ability to. Let's see. I'm gonna look through here. Someone said I couldn't find roadmap. Is there any hint for when the game, like not just the demo or anything, but when will the actual game be released? Will it be Q3 or Q4?
Yeah, firstly, I would say that, you know, if you have followed a game on their roadmap, it We're going by that procedure. So there will be an open beta and then a closed beta. And the open beta would be by Q1 next year. And that, to my knowledge, is actually pretty fast, considering it's going to be a very big metaverse and a very high quality game. And that's only possible because our team has 40% of the assets already done. So that's going to be the first part of the roadmap. Our website will be coming out next week as well. So a lot of interesting things for our project next week. Definitely, if if you're interested in game NFT, then please do follow us. The website will be out next week, and more details on the roadmap will be on there. But Q1 would be open beta, and then obviously you get to play it, you get to try it. Q2 will be closed beta. So um, it's going to be around that time. And mobile version should come out in Q2. But the first version would be PC version. And then hopefully, if the VR tech stabilizes and gains mass adoption, I will promise here that, whichever device that is mass adopted, we'll go for that. And it probably won't take long because we've kept our structure and the architect of the game very, very flexible. As you know, metaverse is constantly changing. We have to keep adding on events, or like features that actually keeps up with the time. So we'll keep it flexible. That's why we're not scared at all to promise that we can do the VR version. The only thing I'm worried about is actually, with how unstable the VR tech is at the moment. So that's the one that it'll be hard for me to explain or to tell about. But, the thing that I can say is that the PC version and the mobile version would definitely be somewhere in Q1 for open beta. And then for the closed beta, we give it some time to test, right? Uh, hopefully we can do that, in Q1, but just to be sure, Q2 would be the closed beta, and that would be the time where people can start flooding in, the real gamers and stuff. Yeah, hopefully that gives an idea.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's definitely something that people are just kind of like wondering about the time frame and how much time it'll take to deliver. But when if any gaming project that comes out and says they're going to have something done in the next month, they either have been working on that game for at least a year or they're bullshitting because the amount of time and like work and effort that
It
goes
takes at
into
least a year or two.
yeah, it's a
It
lot of
takes at
it's a
least
lot
a
of
year.
work and it's just always tough. Like one question that I definitely would like to ask is how are you going to keep people in like
Interested?
interested in your project while they're waiting because they'll get the demo and the demo's a demo. Demo you play, you beat it like in a day, but after that, how are you going to keep people from like wanting to hold on to your NFT if given that the open beta is not coming until Q1 next year?
Yeah, so we've definitely talked about it in the team, and we know how short the attention span is in the NFT space. It's obviously quite well known. So we're gonna have a staking function. It's a staking utility where you actually stake, and it's gonna be something very similar to what the Moonbirds did. And the longer you stake, the more value you get out of it when the game eventually releases. So I hope that would make, a few comfort a few of our holders, to actually hold for a bit more. And obviously, we'll make sure to keep them updated. Obviously, probably 1 week off the mint, we would probably slow down a bit because we've been crazy pushing out everything, the content and everything. And I've been taking dev off their work uh, to do a lot of things so that, we can get people to know us more on Twitter. But, after the mint, actually, the dev will be diving in full time into getting the metaverse out. They'll get to test the first map. This would be like, let's say we mint, beginning of August. So after that, it's going to only be a few months. I wouldn't say it's that long, but we'll be constantly dropping stuff from those who actually stake. And of course, along the way, we'll make sure we give content so that they're with us along the way. And well, obviously, we're not going to be gone or anywhere. But We want them to be interested, so that's why we give the stake function, and obviously they're going to be airdropping a lot of stuff, just for so that, as real holders and real believers of our project, that's where we want to reward them, and hopefully they would feel, it's worth it. I would like to remind people that this NFT space, the real profit comes from those who actually hold in the long term. I could give a few examples. Like cyberpunks, and even those that brought into apes. It didn't actually rocket in the first few days or in the first few months. Obviously, when the time is right, many things go into the direction where the builders are actually looking forward to. And I would say the space is very much trending towards metaverse. I'm not going to say NFT because obviously, if you go to Google Trends, you will see that the NFT trend is dropping at the moment. It's sad, but that's normal. I've been in a lot of um, um, crypto projects, and I would say that the trend is up and down. So that's completely normal. But the metaverse trend is actually slowly growing, and it's not dropping anytime soon. Obviously, it will come no matter what, just like how electric car is gonna take over the normal engine oil petrol-based cars. That's what I want to remind people, I guess. That's what we believe as builder as well, and those who actually dare to invest in the long term. I mean, I wouldn't say zero point 0.1 ETH is like very little money. I wouldn't say it's a lot either. Those who actually take the risk or actually it would be worth it. I used to buy a lot of ICOs if you know ICOs before the NFT actually boomed. ICO was actually a thing. And the best way that I profited off is actually, those leftover ICOs that eventually boomed, and the rest doesn't matter. The rest that failed didn't matter. Just one of those ICO going to like 100x or 1000x, that would actually be worth it in itself. The rest you could just forget about.
Yeah.
Um, so this is not financial advice, obviously. It's how I've benefited from my experience, and I would like to remind people that projects building during the worst times are actually ones that turn out the best in the space. Even including like cyberpunks. At that time, NFT wasn't really the best in trend thing, but a lot of people scooped up Cyberpunk at a very cheap price at that time. Regretfully, I wasn't one of them. Crypto space was very down at that time. But what happened later on was amazing. I mean, like, if you just held on to one or two of those, it would be enough, to actually buy a car with it, if you
Yeah.
know what I mean.
Absolutely.
That's a bit long. I'm very sorry. That was boring, I think.
No, no. I mean, it's different if you're just rambling versus actually educating and giving good information, which you have been giving. I'm gonna try to get through a couple more of these. Try to keep the AMAs like around an hour. Some of them are a lot more because a ton of questions. But just like, in the out of respect for people watching the YouTube and the recording and everything like that, try to keep it to a good number so that people want to stick around for the whole thing. But someone really was vibing heavily on the artwork and is just like loving it and wanted to hear more about the artist.
Oh, thank you very much. He would be delighted. He would be very, very happy to hear that. Kai is our lead artist, and he has been very, very pulling all those OTs and night times, and he does a lot of work on his own, and correcting all those jobs. I mean, like all those artworks done that weren't perfect, he would personally go down and get them right, get them done in the best way possible. So definitely, it's one of the qualities that hopefully it shows through our art, and it reflects the game characters that you will be seeing as well. So, the characters that you see from our NFT, definitely will be reflected into the same appearance in the game. So that's something that's very difficult to do if you're doing an anime metaverse or an anime NFT. Um, a lot of people would actually opt for the more practical type. So the pixel style, I would say, is actually a very popular style right now. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's very hard to, to actually gamify an anime NFT into a real character, more alive, and make it like fun and the top qualities that you can find in the space. So that's something that our team is very, very nitpicky about. And the team hates me, hates Kai for it sometimes, and we argue a lot. Our team is definitely very experienced. They've worked on a lot of projects, and they're under contract to not actually talk about the projects they work on, obviously. But they're the best in the space at what they do as well. I would say it's a very niche market. The 3D modeling for animes, um, and they're quite good at what they do. So unfortunately, very they're not an extrovert. I would say they're more very, very introvert. So that's precisely why I'm having such a hard time actually, representing them all the time. It would be nice if they are more willing to actually come out and talk with the people about their artwork. Uh, I'm very sorry on that side. But I guess, most of good artists that I see are actually not the best speakers. Um, it's not um, you know a thing, but that's how it is, at least for our team. So, I would happily pass on any questions if you have based on what they do, and hopefully I'll get an answer for those. So just so that they really love what they do, and they're not just gonna let it go, um, for the sake of getting it done. They'll wing it. No, that's not how they do things. They won't even let the smallest thing get onto them. They'll keep correcting it to the last moment, and they won't even be satisfied the moment that they released it. Even a demo. I have to be uh, constantly arguing with the team. Is it good enough? Is it good enough yet? Can we release it first? People may want to see what they're buying into. In this space, without a demo, it would mean that you just don't have the capability. So it would be nice to have a demo out first, right? That would mean a lot to the followers, to the people. So that's why we rushed out the demo. And just the demo itself, I had to argue with the art team for like weeks. So that's their mindset, and it will reflect in the future of our work as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean it's a great answer, and I'm sure they people are appreciative of it. There's another question in here that's asking about the option to potentially purchase an NFT pass or something similar to like a subscription for WoW. For like World of Warcraft, you know how like MMOs usually you have to pay monthly and whatnot. WoW does not order to allow more and more players to be able to enter instead of allowing only the pioneers to controlling the NFT Rift keys. I don't know if you see that question. Yumar asked it, but it's. I think he's asking: is there going to be a way for you to not have to have like a pioneer to be able to play with the Rift keys, or if you can maybe purchase a subscription?
Oh, would I'm not a great fan of WoW, so I'm sorry if I don't actually get the whole picture. That would mean I the question would be, if I understand correctly, would be can normal players just join without actually going through the rift keys from the pioneers, is the
Yeah,
question?
yeah,
Yeah, so I would say, if we want to vote on it, then I definitely want the OGs and the pioneers to actually agree on it. It would not be bad, and we would be willing to share some of the revenue with the Pioneers holders and the OG, since it would be essentially taking what we promised them. So you'd probably wonder by now how we as a team will survive. So we'll be getting transaction off almost every character or almost every NFT equipments, we'll be getting transaction off those, and we're happy with those already. So, the idea was actually to get the pioneers to actually invite people, they could resell the Rift keys, I said. But if, eventually it becomes more common or more of a open idea to actually agree to and like if most of the pioneers can agree on it, then we can definitely do that where people coming in would have to actually buy a monthly pass, and it would be more ideal, and actually it would make sense if the pioneers get a share of that revenue, obviously, because that's going to be taking something off from what we actually promise as a utility of the pioneers. So we're open for that as long as the pioneers are open for it.
Awesome. Yeah. Once again, one of those things where you kind of just look at what your player base wants, what the holders want, what your community wants and all that good stuff, and kind of just adapt just like that. So that's very cool. Um, I think I've gone through pretty much all the questions. I don't want to rush you off or anything like that, but if you have anything else you want to kind of tell people about, any alpha you want to drop, all that good stuff, feel free to. This is your time to be able to, just have the stage and literally just like, have a voice and tell, you've got over 50 people here, which is actually really incredible considering the market and all that good stuff. So I don't want to rush you off. So if you have anything else you want to add in here, feel free to.
Yeah, definitely. I'm quite amazed as well, since the space is quite I would say it's quite quiet at this moment, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely a normal thing in crypto space. I mean, like, how many times did, like, Bitcoin died officially? That would be countless.
That's true.
But if since um the time permits, I would like to add, one last thing. I I I would say that I understand how the NFT space is quite down at this moment. Our market is entirely not fixated on the NFT ups and downs, since we'll be targeting gamers that are outside of our space. So what we're essentially doing is we're pulling people outside who actually don't care how the NFT space goes up and down. So I'm not meaning anything bad, like they actually don't like or don't care about the community. I'm just saying that they're more interested, as gamers, they're more interested in just playing the game and enjoying the game, and that's the more norm that you can find outside of this space. Um, so I would say that, and hopefully most people think like me, where our NFT will not be entirely based on the ups and downs of the crypto space, but rather I want you to measure the worth of our NFT based on the future where people find that our quality of game is actually computable on the market and computable with all the other AAA games that you find outside, and measure us by the amount of user acquisition that we can get, like a lot of projects or a lot of businesses that are actually evaluated on the real market. It would be based on user acquisition, where our game actually attracts people. So you be the judge of it. Definitely, I'm very biased. So I do feel that our game is quite top grade in a sense. So definitely, I'm biased once again. But measure it by the future of how it could potentially attract many gamers to actually enjoy the game rather than the NFT space itself. It's nothing bad, but it's always good to have more people in joining the community. And despite a lot of people, the norms may not think of NFT as something that they would actually um, enjoy or be a part of, because it's rather new. The concept of NFT, it's not exactly common for the people outside of the NFT space. It's very uncommon actually. Some people may even view it as a bad thing. And those are the people that we want to change their minds by not letting them even know that they're just walking into an NFT project. So if possible, I would like the people that would be with us in the long run to actually evaluate us by the quality that we're giving out, the demo, the artwork, and the future metaverse that we're delivering, the quality that we're delivering, and measures by the future interest that we'll be getting from the normal gamers outside of the space. So that would be nice if you can think of the price as a detached, um, you know, um, uh, how do I say, factor from how our project is actually doing. Because that's always the best way. If I'm gonna say I'm an initial investor in Ethereum, so I was there when they did the ICO. So I actually believed in the project and I profited quite a lot, despite how many times it died. I mean, like every time it dropped 80%, people will say it died. So that's what happened. I would say it would be nice if people can evaluate us that way instead of evaluate us in the same way that every NFT project will be the same during this time. We're trying to deliver something very real, very tangible to the whole market. So that's what I would like to leave as the last comment. And I'm very thankful for everybody here. It's a very long day, and I'm very talkative as well. I just go on and on. So I'm very thankful that people are actually still listening. Um, yeah, thank you for this opportunity as well. Thank you Zero. Thank you the Giraffe family, and just follow along and have fun, I guess.
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
not gonna make it.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, no, I appreciate it. Like, they're all used to, all the people here are used to rambling because I can talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and everybody in the crowd pretty much knows that. So they're all used to it, and we appreciate like the in-depth answers instead of just kind of giving us whatever and then just moving on. You've given everyone the answers I feel like that they've been wanting to, or to the best of your ability. So I just wanted to say thank you on behalf of the entire Jira fam, for taking time out of your busy schedule. It's a Sunday, it's, evening time for you, so I definitely know that you have other things, maybe even sleep that you could be doing. So we all are very thankful and very happy that you came out here, and wish you the best of luck on your project and all that good stuff, and we'll be definitely be supporting it along the way. I sent you two names from people who I thought that were participating in the crowd, for whitelist, which is very cool, and we're really thankful that you have given us that opportunity. And yeah, if there's nothing else that you want to say, then we can just wrap it up right here. And yeah, it's been a great one. It's we're right at about an hour, so it's pretty awesome, pretty amazing. And I will send you this YouTube video recording after I get it uploaded today. And yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much. Really appreciate it.
thank you. Yeah, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, really, it means a lot in this market situation for people to show up and actually listen to you ramble for an hour.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more. Alrighty, well, thanks for coming in, and take care. Have a good rest of your day. Much love.
Thank you very much. And we might see you at Singapore,
Oh,
and
really? Oh,
we have,
awesome. Love it.
yeah,
Amazing.
I happen to have a prior appointment to actually visit Singapore during that time. What are the chances? So I booked ticket about 3 months ago, and it just happened to be the same time.
Oh, that's
But
amazing.
it's yeah. I happen to actually deal with some partners over there. They're the co-founders, so I plan to visit them. But we are a bit tight on the schedule. So hopefully we can actually join the party as well. I would very much like to meet the people there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be so cool. Well, we look forward to potentially meeting you in person, and maybe having a drink or something together, and that would be really special.
That would
So,
be awesome.
very cool stuff.
That
Well,
would be
awesome. Well, we'll wrap it up here, and like I said, I can't tell you enough how thankful we are for coming out here and providing us with all this good information. So, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.